Arise News crew on Saturday were attacked at Ikate Elegushi here in Lagos during the coverage of the governorship and House of Assembly elections in Lagos State. Some yet-to-be-identified persons challenged the crew for flying a drone to capture aerial shots of several polling units positioned near the palace of the Elegushi of the Ikate Kingdom. The attackers forcefully pulled down the drone, damaged it, beat the crew up to a pulp, and injured the cameraman, who suffered deep injuries and bled on his face. Policemen and soldiers around could not bring the situation under control, but the drone was later handed over to a senior police officer before the crew was taken to Ilesha Police Station in Lekki. Lagos State Commissioner for Home Affairs, Anofiu Elegushi, stepped in to stop the hoodlums from further attack and led the crew to police station. He was later joined by the Aro Elegushi Chief Lekon Bakare. However, footage of the drone never showed any interior part of the Elegushi Palace. Well, Arise senior correspondent Oba Adeoye led that three-man crew, and he now joins us to throw more light on what really happened. Good morning, Oba Adeoye.
Yeah, good morning, Oji.
Well done for your coverage yesterday.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. So,
I'm sorry about what happened yesterday.
We're really sorry about what happened yesterday.
It's okay. So we went out as usual to cover the elections as provided for in the Constitution. You know, the Constitution is clear about it, that the media has the power, you know, you are enabled to cover such processes, and the election management body also accredited media houses to cover the election. So we went out, and it was going on smoothly until when we got to Ikate, and after doing our live crossings at various polling units around the palace, the process was very peaceful, I must say that. So after taking all of those, and we realized that we had about 6 different polling units, you know, clustered around the palace. So one of the best ways to tell the story is to have an area shot of the environment to tell the people that indeed these polling units were not too far from, you know, one another. So my cameraman Okpayadini launched his drone to take the shot, and before we knew it, you know, a mob attacked us, and the question was, why are you flying the drone? Why are you flying the drone? I said, it's part of our equipment, and it's part of the tools that we use in telling our stories. So, but they will not listen to that. Before you knew it, they descended on us, slaps everywhere, and in the process, Okwe was beaten to a pulp. And, you know, you can see the picture on the screen. He had, you know, a cut and he bled on his face. So, but in the process, the Commissioner for Home Affairs and the Aro Elegushi, the two of them came and, you know, they stopped the hoodlums from attacking Okwe further, and they took down the drone. In the process, they spoiled part of the drone and handed the drone over to a senior police officer who was, you know, around, and then we were led to the police station. Let me also add that in the process of forcing Okwe to bring down the drone, I approached the military men there, about 6 of them. And I told them, I said, look, we are working, please come, step into the picture.
Military
men,
or police officers?
Army. Soldiers. You know, armed. We told them, please, step into the picture. Let them allow this young man to bring down the drone peacefully. And then we'll take our drone, we'll put it in the bus, and then we'll get out from here. But they will not even move an inch.
They didn't budge.
They did not budge. Nothing happened.
Did you identify yourself as the Arise News journalist? As an Arise News journalist?
Branded box.
Okay.
They knew it was.
So what we have on the screen, is that what you are explaining to us?
That is a drone shot. You can see the content of the drone shot.
Okay.
It's not showing any part apart from the polling units. You see, it's a moving picture. It's not a still picture.
Okay, but take us back just a little bit, Oba, to the point when they descended on you. What was the complaint about? Was it just because as a media crew you were there, or was it just because it was Arise News, or what were their complaints?
Right. I think it was a needless panic, if you ask me. You know, in the build-up to the election, there is this feeling that you know, some people are going to gang up against a particular political party and so on and so forth. It was a needless panic, and that is where the media and information literacy program comes in. You know, the UNESCO has, you know, been working on that. The MIL, you know, telling the people teaching the people, educating the people on how the media works. The problem is that people don't really understand how the media works. They don't understand what the media is expected to do in situations like that. They see the media as perhaps an opposition to them, or someone that will not even allow them to do whatever they need to do. So it was a needless panic, because we did not even have any confrontation with anybody. We have done, at that point in time, we had done about 2 or 3 crossings around there, and nothing happened. We were even, having chats with some of them. We interviewed some of them. But suddenly, the moment they saw the drone up there, the panic thing just got out of hand.
Were they voters? When you said the mob panic, were they voters? Were they thugs? Were they onlookers?
We could not immediately ascertain who they were. We saw them. It happened just at a flash of light. And we could not even ascertain who they are. We don't even know their identity. But we just saw a mob, approached us. And why are you flying a drone? Why are you flying a drone? And before you could even explain anything, they descended on my cameraman, and, it was a carnival of slaps for all of us. And,
So I can see on the screen there, there are a bunch of polling units in that area. How many were there in that area?
I think about 6 or thereabout in that area.
Can you identify this particular polling unit that we're seeing right now?
I don't know the code of this polling unit, but it's towards the end of a closed gate after leaving the palace. The palace is somewhere down there, But so we came to this side, so to launch the drone from this side, so that the drone can move in and take the real shot of the environment. We don't even have any business with the palace here. We don't have any business with anybody here.
I don't even see the palace. Is the palace around there at all?
So that's the problem. Okay. They don't even know the content
of... close to the palace.
Not at all. They don't even know the content of what we are filming. You understand? I think it's a function of not having understanding of how the media works, or what is expected of the media. Because one of them was telling us that you don't have a right to come here and film, blah, blah, blah. I said it's part of the election. I showed them accreditation. I said yes. I was accredited by the INEC to cover this election. Absolutely. And that's what we are doing. But I think another problem there, beyond misunderstanding of what the media is expected to do in periods like that, is their Rice News brand. They feel... they feel our news brand is too independent, in our analysis.
Yes, telling the truth.
We don't bend anything at all. So they feel like we are not playing the game, like others are playing the game, that you guys just laid bare.
That's your reading of their...
Yes, because that attack is not just there. I remember during the presidential election too, we were, verbally harassed in several places. We got to a place in Obalende, and one short man came, and he was, he was just telling us that we cannot film. I said, what's the problem? He said, it's not right. We will not allow you to film. We will not allow. What's the problem? What exactly is the problem?
So
we've not been there before.
So you were led to the police station by the Commissioner of Police, correct?
No.
Who took
the Commissioner
you to the police station?
for
Home
Affairs, that's Prince Anofi Legushi, and their role in Legushi, that's Lekon Mustafa also. So the two of them led us to the police station, and the reason is to put everything in record. You understand? To put it on record that this is what actually happened, and this is the reason why this and this and this happened.
Who suggested the police station?
The prince. That's Prince Anofi Legushi. He said there is no need to, leave these things like this. Let us get out from here. They handed over the drone to a senior police officer on duty there. You understand? And he said to further put this on record, there's need for us to go to the police station.
When you say on record, is that to report to the police that our crew was attacked?
We really don't know. We were mobbed. We were under duress at that point in time. So all we needed to do was intervention of the police, the soldiers, or anybody, just to get out from that place. But
none of the attackers was part of those who were taken to the police?
None of them, not one of them.
Okay, so before you left the police station, did they identify the person who brutalized Okwe, our cameraman?
No, we saw the man. I don't know if we got the footage. We saw the young man, and I remember he was putting on the cream-colored attire. But when we got to the police station, the Commissioner for Home Affairs was saying that he accosted the man, and the man was even telling him that he was not even a resident in that environment, and they were blaming INEC for relocating a lot of voters to places where they don't reside. I remember the monarch himself attested to this during the presidential election. I had a live interview with him in his palace, and he confirmed to us that a lot of people were relocated to that environment, even despite that they don't live in that environment. He told us that they saw a lot of strange faces in the community during the election, and that they blame INEC for that. So
polling units being moved from point A to point B.
Not just polling units, voters now. In the build-up to the election, voters were encouraged that if you have changed home, if you have changed location, go back to INEC and change your polling unit. So a lot of people were transferred to that environment without any confirmation of the fact that they are resident of that area. So that's the complaint. So the man now told us that he met the young man, and the young man said he's from somewhere in Ekpetedo or thereabout, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So we cannot immediately ascertain, the identity of the young man that led the attackers. But, if I see him now, I recognize him.
Were there other media crews there, apart from Arise?
Yes, but others were not on the same spot with us. They were, several meters away from us, because we went to the end of the street. It's a close. There's a gate there. It was a cul-de-sac for us, so there was no exit. It's only one exit. That's what contributed to it. It's only one exit. So we went to the end of the close so that we can launch our drone from there and take the picture from beginning to the end. Right. So there were other media crew around. I saw other media crew, other TV stations around, but not exactly where we were standing. Even while the young man was busy assaulting us, another resident, raised his voice against him that, they are walking, why? And he descended on that.
Who said that? Who said?
Another resident. I don't know his name now. So he tried to intervene in the whole situation, and before you know it, he also descended.
But at that time, voting had already started. People were on queue, or
ballot sorting was already on in several polling units and even counting.
Oba, before you went to that polling unit, there were reports circulating that a polling unit was moved to the Oba's Palace, in front of the Oba's Palace. Talk to us about that. Was that an authorized polling unit? I mean, what is that situation?
That is the exact trigger that took us there.
Okay.
We were there before, and we saw things. We were just, roving around as we do usually on election day. But we got information that a particular polling unit had been, relocated to close to the fence of the Oba's Palace. So we went there to confirm ourselves. And when we got there, we spoke with, the voters and a lot. I was there during the presidential election. So I have an idea of what the place looked like during the presidential election. So we asked our questions, I mingled with them, tried to get fact why this polling unit was relocated here. And what I realized was that it has nothing to do with the palace. It has nothing to do with the monarch. The problem was that during the presidential election, voters were aroused in there's a particular street, I don't know, Bangbala, I don't know the name of this, I can't really remember now. There's a particular street that had a polling unit during the presidential election. In that particular polling unit, people were harassed. Thugs came around, harassed them, and the street is like an interior part of the area. So I think as a result of, trying to avoid a repeat of such attacks, INEC had to move that polling unit from there and brought it to the open. It has nothing to do with the palace. It has nothing to do with the monarch. I think it's an INEC decision.
Okay, so that was an authorized polling unit.
Yes, it was.
Now, you are Oba, our Oba. Were you able to speak with Oba Elegushi? And, before last week, there was this furore about the Oro Festival disrupting the elections. Can you share with us what he said and if he was able to clarify that?
We tried to reach him before the election. It wasn't an election story. I did a story before the election, to find out why Oro Festival was declared. So we went around Lagos trying to reach out to. It was not just declared in the Legushi Kingdom. It was like a widespread declaration.
Ejigbo, Ikorodu, different parts of Lagos.
We went to a lot of places, and we could not even get one until we got to Agege. So I spoke with the Ajanaoro. Ajanaoro is like the head of the Oro cult in Yoruba land. Very respected and very exalted traditional title. So we had an encounter with him, and he explained a lot of things to us, that the declaration of the Oro Festival had nothing to do with the election. It is not political, that is just a traditional rite. And he told us that it's a spiritual exercise, but people reading meanings to it, just wanted to insinuate what they never had in mind, that it was coincidental that a lot of communities, a lot of chiefdoms in Lagos declared the Oro Festival at the same time. And he explained the reason for that. He said the Oro Festival is a rite of cleansing a community where you send evil spirits away from that community.
It's a rite of cleansing.
Now, when you push those evil spirits out of the community, those evil spirits wandering about, they will relocate to another community. So it is important for the other communities to embark on the same Oro, so that whatever you are pushing from your own community to our community, we in return push it out of our community to God knows where. But we got that fact, and when we got to the police station yesterday, it was part of the the issues that there is. That was why when we were doing our Oro, you people went on TV. I said, no, I'm a prince myself. I understand all of these things, and I will never do anything against the palace. I will never do anything against royalty. I told him, and I explained to him. That's the Ajanoro. That's the Ajanoro of Agege. Okay. In fact, it's a very big man in the Oro arrangement. It took his time
for Agege.
And really Agege.
Every community has its Ajanoro.
Yes, not every community, but he resides in Agege, resides in really Agege. But from the way he introduced himself, I think his power, extends beyond Agege and really Agege. Like he said, it's from Jashe, somewhere outside Nigeria. He told us a lot of things about the festival. So going back to the story, I explained to them, I said, look, myself, I'm a prince, and I understand how this thing works. I would never go anything. We don't have any business with the palace. The palace is not the secretariat of any political party. It's not the office of INEC. We don't have any business. If INEC had not positioned this polling unit near the palace, we would not be here. So we came there to look at what is happening. We went to a place, in that community, in Nigerian area, and we saw live sacrifice there. It was not an intersection, because usually in Yoruba land, where they place sacrifices are at junctions, intersections. But that place is not even an intersection.
So why was it there?
We don't know. We don't know. That's why we went there.
There were a series of sacrifices all over the place.
Yes.
I think there was one that was
not even far from a mosque.
In close to Omole 1, Ojodu, right in front of Ojodu Grammar School.
Yes.
And I think at some point, a mentally deranged man went to the sacrifice and devoured the sacrifice.
What was it, chicken or goat meat?
Whatever it was, it was devoured by the mentally deranged man, which can be symbolic.
In Yoruba land, they will say the Yorumales, they have accepted the sacrifice.
Okay.
So, it is believed that, people who are mentally deranged have some spirit, working with them. So, some traditional people will tell you that for that madman to go there to even consume the sacrifice, it may be part of the reason why they place the sacrifice there, that it means that the Rumale, the spirit, they have accepted the sacrifice from you. It depends on how they want to look at it, or whatever interpretation they want to give to it. But we saw that a lot of people, eat under the influence of tradition, the influence of spirituality, to scare voters away.
Yes.
But
especially
all these things, were they just mere coincidences? First time that you will have various communities, declaring to have the Oro ritual almost at the same time, and then all those sacrifices everywhere. There have been elections, there have been issues, but then it has never been like this. Would it have anything tied to the struggle for the identity of Lagos that seems to have played a factor, in yesterday's election?
We cannot pretend to say that it has nothing to do with the situation in town. We cannot, because a lot of people seize that opportunity. There's a video online, where you saw a group of traditional worshippers making some appeasement to the gods in support of a particular candidate, in support of a particular aspirant, despite the fact that all the aspirants and candidates, they are their children. It is not expected.
And they are all Lagosians.
And they are all Lagosians. There's no foreigner among them. Yeah. So it's funny how much some of these monarchs, some of these traditional title holders have desecrated their offices. We grew up knowing that a monarch is not meant to be politically minded.
Yes.
You are a father to all. Whoever comes to you, give them your blessing. Let them go out to the field. Whoever the people choose, then they will go and
Okay. So you
occupy
went
that office.
all over Lagos. Where did you go in Lagos?
I was on the island.
Voter apathy, and also that particular polling unit that you went to with that sacrifice. I saw that voters were not deterred. Would you say that also influenced voter apathy?
Roger, I'm beginning to suspect you. You have something with sacrifices.
I mean, it's very interesting.
No, she doesn't.
Okay,
Oji gentle. Oji is calm.
Gentle.
There was widespread voter apathy yesterday compared to what I saw during the presidential election. I was at St. Stephen's Primary School where the governor of the state voted, and the time I got there, if you compare with what I saw that same time during the presidential election, we had more people waiting for the governor to come cast his vote.
That's right.
During the presidential election. But yesterday when I got there, it was scanty. They have empty seats all over the place.
We saw it live, and we spoke with you,
yes.
live.
So it was scanty. So there was a widespread voter apathy. A lot of voters were threatened. As early as 6 a.m., as early as 5 a.m., the talks went around communities, beating the gongs and warning people that, look, if you don't vote for this particular political party, don't bother coming out to vote. You know, the ironic part of it is that it's not about non-Yoruba people. A lot of Yoruba people were also harassed from voting, and a lot of people who don't want troubles at all, they chose to stay away from the polling unit, and they never came out.
Especially if you have to identify yourself and prove that you are of a particular identity.
Yes, and that's where INEC needs to come in. If the exercise is declared as secret ballot, let it be secret ballot. Don't bring materials that will expose the voters, because we went to places where the moment you pick your ballot paper and you want to vote, the entire, everybody at that polling unit, they can see clearly what you are doing and
who you are voting for.
Back in the day when when they use this secret ballot, they construct a kind of kiosk where voters will go in and nobody will see you, cast your vote peacefully. And that's why in Yoruba land, especially in Ibadan, they will tell you that that even if you have an idea that I am here, you don't know what's on my mind. So I'll just pretend. So there was widespread voter apathy yesterday. A lot of people did not come out to vote.
Okay, so there are 10 polling units where there will be a re-election in Lagos, including VGC, and I'm sure that you will be on the move.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, again, it's just to what shall we say, to sympathize with you and our other colleagues, and to say to you that how it works. The show must go on.
Yes,
we can't be deterred.
And very quickly before I leave,
thank you very much.
Very quickly before I leave, I think the media also has a role to play in creating this media and information literacy.
Yes.
A lot of people don't have an idea, and you cannot talk about development without talking about the media.
Absolutely.
And where the people don't understand where the media works, development.
You're right.
Just don't talk about development.
Yes, I mean,
thank you, Adeoye.
Thank you again for your fantastic reporting, and we commend you for your bravery. We'll see you again. I guess you'll be in BGC and we'll take a live.
And be safe out there.
Be safe. Well done. You, Okpe, and the entire crew. Thank
you so
you
much.
for reporting.